Hello, my name is Preston McCollam, and I am your Spokane County Prosecuting Attorney. Today with me I have Sheriff John Nowels, and we would like to talk to you about a current piece of legislation that greatly impacts the work that we do and greatly impacts the community. Today we're talking about House Bill 1239. It is titled An Act Related to Preparing Incarcerated People for Successful Reentry Upon Release. But that's not at all what this bill is. And so House Bill 1239 takes an already crime-friendly and offender-focused sentencing structure and guarantees that the most violent offenders in our community get a third of their sentence off. For instance, we have certain crimes where an offender presently gets 10% off of a sentence based on what the state legislature calls early release or good time. House Bill 1239 expands that, and it does so for the most violent offenders in our community. The crimes impacted here are murder, sex offenses, violent robberies, violent assaults. House Bill 1239 guarantees that offenders who have a higher criminal history or more violent offenses in their past get the most time off on sentencing. House Bill 1239 makes an already weak and crime-friendly system much weaker and puts the community at risk.
So as your sheriff, we spend a lot of time in the sheriff's office investigating these crimes, providing good cases, and serving the victims of these violent crimes, and presenting these cases to the prosecutor's office and working with them to seek convictions and provide justice to our most vulnerable members of our community and people who are victims of our most serious crimes. It is important that we keep our sentencing guidelines strong, to hold people accountable, and to keep our community and our citizens safe from violent predators. This legislation is a slap in the face to victims in our community and a slap in the face to the people who want to have safe homes, safe schools, and safe neighborhoods. We already know that our criminal justice system, due to the actions of our state legislature, has become a revolving door. This legislation is just going to speed up the speed of that revolving door, particularly where violent criminals are involved. I ask that you stand up for the victims in our community. I also will remind you that right now, in my opinion, as your sheriff, that the biggest threat to community safety in the state of Washington is the Washington State Legislature as is currently composed. We have to have our voices heard and make sure that our legislators know we don't want violent criminals like this released back into our community early.
One of the comments that I frequently get from the community, from the public when they're looking at legislation, is that it appears when you read bills like House Bill 1239 that violent offenders, pedophiles, sexual offenders in our community have better representation in Olympia. They have better representation in our state legislature than members of our community do. They currently have better representation than the crime victims of our community that are affected by these violent offenders. I'm asking as your county prosecutor that you make sure your legislature knows that that is not the correct approach to this. Make sure that your legislators know that your voice matters, that you care about safety on our streets. Because when reading House Bill 1239, it's apparent to me that the individual with the most criminal history, the most violent offense, is going to get the most time off. And I'm asking that you let your state representatives and your state senators know that that is not good for public safety.